4 years ago, I bought my very first house, and over the past 4 years, I've been documenting the journey of turning this little starter house into a home, one project at a time, with all of you right by my side. This house has seen a lot of milestones. It's where I left my career to chase my passion for the trades and content creation from my garage. It's where we got married right here in the backyard, and it's where we introduced our rescue pup to our family and made this home his home too. I've changed up so many things and poured so much love into every corner of this space. But even with all of those memories and projects, I've always felt like there's a bigger potential here, something more that this home could become. So, 4 years later, I am finally in the position to do the work I've always dreamed of. For the first time, I can actually afford to take on some of the bigger projects I've been saving for and envisioning since day one. Which sorta kinda means that I've been keeping a secret from you guys. I'm so sorry. And that big secret is that over these past few months, while I've been distracted by turning my cargo van into a tiny home, this main home has been undergoing a massive dormer renovation. And not only is this project the kind of transformation that opens up a whole new chapter for us and this channel, but it's also opening up a ton of more walls and adding a lot more ground space to cover, so we're gonna be busy. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Now that the big contracted work is finally complete, it is time for me to tap in and do what I do best, adding in the finishing touches. Starting with the project that I have been thinking about since the day that I got the keys to this house, my new front porch. Because if there's one thing I learned, it's that the front door sets the tone for everything that follows. So friends, let's get started. This video is sponsored by my friends at DAP. So before we jump on into this actual porch project, I feel like I owe you guys an explanation, so let's talk about this dormer. Essentially, if you've been here for a while, then you may remember throughout all of my videos, I've been talking a lot about doing budget-friendly, affordable upgrades to my house with having that plan in mind to eventually upgrade or do something more with the house. And I would be lying if I told you that when we bought this first house, I was like, this is a 3-year plan. We're gonna be here for 3 years. I'm gonna renovate this thing and then we're gonna move. Because when I first got this house, it was not really the house that I wanted or envisioned that I wanted. I was just really grateful to find a roof to put over our family's head that I could actually afford. Hi ho, it's off to my own house I go. And I'll be real with you, it is pretty common, I feel like, for a lot of DIY and home improvement content creators to buy a house, renovate it, sell that house, and then buy another house. And that was really tempting for me throughout this process. And I really did crunch the numbers. Like, would it be cheaper to buy another house or to put the love and work into this house that I know that it deserves? And the short answer was neither option was great. But we've honestly grown kind of attached to this house, if I'm being quite honest. And when we bought this house, I really did have a vision for it, but I just could not afford to make that vision come to life. I mean, I'll be real with you, I couldn't afford to do it now either, but I will be doing an entire video breaking down this process of planning this project and how I was able to finance it and all of those other things. So definitely let me know in the comments below if you have questions about planning a big renovation like this. I am also actually working on a little bit of an ebook that helps plan big projects like this, so definitely make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell if that's something you're interested in, because it's gonna be coming at you in the next couple of weeks. But anyway, back to where we are in this particular project. I'm saying project with air quotes because this entire thing has been a project, but here's the thing. When I first bought this house, I was like, man, I wish I could afford to put a porch on this house because this house would look amazing with a front porch. But front porches aren't cheap, and in my particular township, there are lots of laws about who can build a porch, where it can go, how it can be built, how it can be attached to the house, and so on and so forth, and there was just a lot of red tape that I didn't want to have to deal with. But then, a couple months ago, I was like, you know what, I'm finally in a position where I can kind of do what I want with this house, and one of the things I've been wanting to do was dormers. So I sought out an architect to see what that process would look like, and here we are, a couple months later, with a dormered house and a beautiful porch. And you might be asking, well, Sam, how come you are working on this porch in the middle of this dormer renovation? And that is because in order to save a ton of money on this project, which I will break down exactly how much money I saved on this dormer by choosing to do things myself, I am choosing to do certain aspects myself, such as making these columns look beautiful on this porch. And this was one of those moments where I tapped in to do this, and I'm going to tap out to get the professionals to finish other things they were contracted for, and then we're going to come back and talk more about the project. I'm a happy Huntress today because they are here doing siding, which is amazing. Before I turn this camera around and show you what color we chose for the house, drop a comment and let me know what color you think that we chose for the house. Here we go. Are we surprised? Are we surprised? Yes, your girl chose an all-black house. I'm so excited. I want to take a minute to talk more about the hiring versus DIY aspect of this project. So like I mentioned earlier, my township required me to hire a contracting company with specific licenses and insurances in order to do the porch because it's considered structural, it's tied into my existing roof line, and it's considered kind of adding some extra square footage that's encroaching on the front lawn. And since I was already going with an amazing local family-owned contracting company, they did give me a really good deal on the siding and the railings and the decking for the porch as well. So I said, like, why not? Let's just do it all. And honestly, good choice because they got it all done so much faster than I ever could have done it by myself. That being said, though, it was also way more expensive to hire out than to do it myself. So in order to save some money, the contracting company was awesome, and they allowed me to tap in occasionally throughout the project to come on in and do things my own way and on my own terms in order to save some money. And one of those things they let me do was wrap those pressure treated columns with some beautiful cedar boards, which you saw me do earlier in the video. And luckily this was a super easy process. I used DAP's HD Max construction adhesive to make sure that they stay up on those poles, and then I nailed them in. And any small gaps I was able to fill with some DAP wood glue and a screwdriver. Now those posts had to go up before the siding and the railings went in, but once that was in, it was then time for me to tap in again and give this front door some love because this dark brown color is not meshing with the black siding. They do not get along. But doing easy DIY projects like this amongst a huge project like a dormer really is a easy way to save a little bit of extra cash. And like I said, I'll be putting out an entire video kind of breaking down the cost of this renovation and what I saved by DIYing little bits and pieces. And I say little bits and pieces now. We are going to get to the part where they are not little bits and pieces very soon on this channel. I'm actually starting a major project, I think this week. But it really is easy to underestimate just how much money you can save by doing parts of a project by yourself. And having to not pay for labor or any sort of upcharge on materials for specific projects throughout your house during a big project is a really easy way to actually stockpile a little extra pocket change so you can kind of spend it on the things that you really want to spend it on later. And yes, that's kind of a spoiler alert because I am splurging on the tile in our new bathroom. So you know I like to keep it real, and while doing my own personal touches like the columns or staining and resealing the door were really easy, one of the things that I actually do regret about this entire porch is not getting enough samples to look at next to the siding. I actually don't love the color of the porch, which is really unfortunate because it wasn't cheap and it's not easy to fix, but I'm gonna live with it for a year and see if it grows on me before I decide to do anything about it. It's kind of like the one thing that I actually really am mad at myself for not paying more attention to during the planning phase. Other than that, though, the vision for this space, like chef's kiss, I cannot wait to show you what this house looks like. It does not look like the same house. It looks exactly how I wanted it to look in my brain, and I could not be happier. Look how beautiful it is, you guys. I'm so excited. One of the things I hear a lot that you all share with me is that you love that I keep the timeline very real. And yes, this took me 4 years. 4 years to plan for, to save for, to finally figure out how to do, to get to this point in the process, and to accept that I don't have to do it alone. Rome was not built in a day, and neither was this house, let's be honest. But every step of this renovation journey has brought me right here, where I'm finally able to turn this house into the house I always knew that it could be, and into a house that I know I'm going to love for a long time. And I cannot wait to take you along on this journey. This is just the beginning. We do have one more van video to pump out. It is going to be the last van video in the tiny home series. It's coming out in 2 weeks, so definitely make sure to subscribe and check that out. But after that, we are jumping headfirst into home reno yet again in this first house of mine, and I cannot wait to share it all with you. In fact, I wouldn't even be here without all of you and your support, so thank you for all that you do. I'm so excited for this next chapter with all of you by my side. But until then, friends, happy DIYing.